Told you about the new El Salvador Consulate in Omaha. There are many benefits, including a local center for legal procedures.
6 News' Johan Marin explains this huge step for the Salvadorian community.
Would you drive more than 8 hours just to renew your passport? That's what Guadalupe Murcia had to do for 4 years.
I've had to travel a couple times in a span of 4 years. I had to travel to Chicago and Sioux, Iowa.
Guadalupe Murcia feels like a big weight has been lifted off her shoulders.
We're blessed now that we can easily come down here in our own time in comparison to having to travel so many miles.
Many Salvadorians in Omaha, like Murcia, can agree obtaining certain legal documents from El Salvador can be exhausting. For Murcia, it can typically take days of travel. When she does, she is constantly worried about missing work and finding someone to take care of her kid while she's away.
Having to travel takes a lot of sacrifice and time.
Omaha opened its first El Salvador Consulate. It will serve as a pinpoint place to renew passports, obtain birth certificates, and other legal procedures. In Nebraska, there are approximately 20,000 Salvadorans who face the same issue as Murcia. The objective of this consulate is to meet the needs of each Salvadoran in Omaha. Menendez says a consulate is vital to keep up with the growing Salvadoran population here in Omaha. On your side, Johan Marin, 6 News.
The El Salvador Consulate plans to also serve as an in-person voting place for the upcoming 2024 elections. With the opening of the local consulate, the number of Salvadorian consulates in the United States now reaches 27.